to that Moto show. What do you think of that song, Donnie?
Yeah, that's amazing. It's amazing what we can do now with technology.
So I wrote up a few things for Spencer. He added some things and ran it through some special wizardry. And then with the help of AI, that came up with that song that a lot of people don't even believe isn't human.
Right.
Right. They think, because we'll read some comments later, but some guys are like, what band is that? Like,
right.
Who
it's
is that?
The band of J. Spencer AI.
Yeah.
The
totally
truth
fun.
is, it's so awesome and scares me at the same time.
Right. I'm kind of worried about what the future is going to hold.
Right.
Like in 5 or 10 or 15 years from now, nothing will be real.
Thank God we'll be close to death.
Right. Some more than others. All right. So no Spencer today. He is listening right now on the cell phone. So
we always have Spencer in one form or another.
Yeah, it's nice to have him listening. Yeah, he said sometimes Spencer brings his flair. You know, or there's parts of the song where, Donnie and Jay. And sometimes Spencer's there. So the last show we did, it's been a little while. We had a little bit of a break, just schedules lining up and busy summer. Everybody's got lots of other podcasts to listen to. So we figured we'll finally get one out here. Millville is happening this Saturday. I think the show is going to come out Sunday. Millville will have already happened. So the Nationals are full swing. It's been awesome watching. You've enjoyed watching them, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
so fun.
I can't wait for Saturday. It's like once, Saturday evening is here, I'm like, I can't wait for next Saturday.
Right. Totally fun. It's the best way to spend 4 hours. I can't watch 4 hours of anything else at one time, right?
No. What about football? You love football.
But I watch that recorded. Typically now, I'll only watch it recorded and I fast forward from play to play fast.
Okay, so you know that I'm a NASCAR fan and it's fine. I don't care getting beat up about it. But honestly, I tape it and I watch like the last 30 laps.
Right.
That's exactly what I do.
Get the little summary or whatever.
Yeah, there's certain tracks. I like road courses, so I'll watch the whole road course, like Chicago this weekend or whatever. But for everything else, I go fast enough to see where the cautions were. Yeah. And I'll slow down to see a caution, and then I go to the last 30, 40 laps.
All right, cool. All right, well, before we get too far, remember to use our links when you're shopping. We got the Rocky Mountain link in our links if you're going to buy anything from there. And we have also a bunch of other good discount codes in the notes from the show here or from our website, anywhere like that. Behind Donnie is sitting one of our CR250 builds. Yep. Finally dug these out. These have been buried. We're going to get more actively back to doing something with these. I have 2 left. To sell, this one and the black one. So if somebody's interested, they can hit us up. We also have the 2 trail bikes, surprisingly, up in Utah, both for sale. Once it gets really hot, no one wants to buy bikes. Luckily, I'm not in a position I don't really care if it waits till fall, or that's fine. But if you're looking for a good bike, we have those ones up there in Utah, the KDX 200 and RMX 250, both up there.
Finally, those are hitting the road?
Yeah. No, well, they're not sold yet, but we're selling
but I'm saying like you guys are, especially Spencer, because I know that
he's over it, because I said, hey, would you rather have these or a YZ450 FX?
Oh, that killed that really quick.
Right. Yeah. So that pretty much answered that. And so that took care of that problem. Your knee, how's your knee? We didn't talk, we had the show without you when we were in Utah like a month ago. Yeah. And then we did a show like, a couple weeks before that, and you had your knee surgery. All good.
Yeah, I mean, I think all good is, I guess, as good as it can be.
Right. And you actually rode, we had our big trail trip, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but you rode on that and you've been going to the track more, which is awesome.
Yes. Okay. Now, I do have a bummer, next week I'm going to Maui, so there'll be probably no riding next week. I'm going to try to hit up Tuesday like we do. Okay. But I might catch a little bit of flack for that. We'll see what happens.
Hey, before I get too far, I had a question that I didn't get answered. I just got a guy who wrote me yesterday. I don't know why I didn't save the question, but I'll just tell you the question. This guy from back in Pennsylvania, and he's moving out to California to be with his wife. So I think they're getting married or something like that. They're getting married. He's moving to California. So he's moving to San Diego. Okay. And he wants to know about riding. And he's got a TE 300 250 that's registered in Pennsylvania. Okay. First thing I told him is just keep it registered in Pennsylvania.
100%.
All right. So that's the first thing. Second thing I told him, because he mentioned he just likes to trail ride. And I said, hey, tough part is in Pennsylvania, he's probably used to not riding for 4 months with winter, right? Yeah. And then you got like 1 or 2 months in the summer that are terrible. Right. Okay. So you have a smaller, but I go, California is similar, is that it's way too hot in the summer to ride. There is a decent trail riding area that Travis, he did that video down by the border. There is a legal riding area that's decent, but that's only going to be really until May, November. through May would be your
Yes.
only main riding
100%.
season. So I get a lot of people asking about that in California. So that South San Diego area, that would be your only situation there.
Well, during the winter, there's Ocotillo.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
So then you can go to that riding area,
oh.
Ocotillo, and then out to the high desert stuff.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Okay, all drives. So the closest thing he would have, I'll remember the name of this place. Travis has some videos on it that are pretty good. Just a riding park. It looks fine. Okay. But it's probably still, depending upon where you're at in San Diego. That's another thing I told him. I go, you could be downtown San Diego. You could be by the border.
There's something else. He might want to hit some groups because I know a lot of groups that go to Mexico.
So Facebook groups are a big thing. So that's why tell people, connect with Facebook groups.
Yeah.
You can go find groups in any area, connect with those groups. You can make your virtual friends can become real friends.
Yeah.
And you can connect that way nowadays.
I have a lot of friends that go to Mexico and ride.
Okay. So those are your options there. Because he sounded like he kind of knocked track riding. And it's like, that's one of the what I explained to him. I was talking to Rado about this yesterday, is many of the people riding at Glen Helen in different tracks would probably prefer to be trail riding. But with our conditions in California, the traffic to drive up to the desert areas, the heat in the summer, guys are going to go, hey, I'm just going to go to the track. So that's one of the reasons guys will tend to ride tracks a little bit more, is it's a little easier and more accessible. So hopefully that helps guys out that are thinking to come to California for trail riding. It's not that great. Only in the winter, especially after raining times, which isn't that many. Some winters it's very limited,
Yeah.
And that's why when it rains, I go. I don't even like planning stuff in the winter, just in case it could rain.
Yeah, I tried to plan something one time in the winter, and it was like a week and a half out, and you're like, nah, I can't tell you. Week and a half, that's way too far out for me.
So we get 4 or 5 days out, and I see there's no rain. Okay, then we could talk.
I do. I shifted the way I ride with you, and I loved the abridged version of riding. Go there, knock out a moto or two, and leave.
Yeah, you can be done like you could go to a track, whatever track you go to in Southern California. If you live close enough, you can get there early, and you don't have to stay. Yes, people can get there $30 or $40 worth, right? But think of it this way. Hey, I'm just going to get my exercise in. If you can ride a longer moto, do a 30 to a 40-minute moto, and then maybe go do one 10 or 15-minute moto, you're done.
Yeah.
Like, who needs to ride more than 45 minutes to an hour in one day of motocross? You're going to get plenty of workout in. And then to beat the heat, you're out of there by 10:30 or 11.
I think you were actually shocked the 2 days after our trip that
Yes.
I went to Glen Helen.
Totally shocked.
You were like, what is going on here?
Yeah, so that was awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so I have a few questions to get us started. First, I sent you a video, a little YouTube video a guy made. Let's play that video right here. You can see he's got a wheel that he's balancing, a static balancing wheel. And I hadn't seen this very often because we've done many of static balancing videos. And you can see in this video, he's got a ton of weights on here. You could probably even pause it. You'll see he's got a ton of weights. And there's a lot of them. And when he holds it in one spot, it goes up. He holds it in another spot, it goes down. So it was off a little bit. So I sent it to Taco Moto, who specializes. And I'll just mention that. I stopped by Taco Moto on my way to Big Trip in Vegas, stopped there and checked out all the cool stuff he's got going. He's got a new fuel pump system for the new bikes, dual snorkel thing that's really cool. And his place is he's moved into a different shop from when you were there.
Yeah.
And they got a lot of stuff going on. Anyway,
Wait, we were just there in October.
Yeah, he just moved.
And he moved.
Yeah, same area, just in another buildings.
Oh, okay.
Like bigger one. So I sent it to him. So in this video, you'll see, because I told him that, hey, I'm not totally sure, but for me, that looks good enough. And that's one thing that Taco Mike said. He goes, it happens when there's multiple heavy spots. You're chasing your tail to try to find them. Or there's liquid sealant in the tube and it's flowing around. Some riders would call what I saw in the video good enough for the girls we go out with and just send it. Some guys want to chase perfection and have it spot on. Just depends how far down the rabbit hole you want to go. So what he says is the answer to this, to solve it, to get it right on. So what he's saying is this tire has kind of two heavy spots, which isn't normal, and the guy did admit it was an off-brand tire. That's why I haven't had the problem with our brand D tires.
Quality tires make a big difference.
Yeah, he said to triangulate the weights. And what that meant was he could have a group. So once you have the lightest, you have your heavy spot, your lightest spot here, you want to add your weights, you would keep them like 4 or 5 spokes apart from each other and then run those weights, like 2 here, try it like that for a little bit. You could probably get it spot on that way because that's what you're fighting. So in that video, it's pretty interesting. I had never seen that before, but that was his answer, which I thought was pretty cool.
Why? why those spoke weights over stick-on weights?
I have both. I just think it's a little easier while you're doing it to use because you can just tighten them on and then check it. And the stick-on weights, you're kind of committed. What I've done on the stick-on weights, which I actually just bought some more, and they are way cheaper, and I just bought some more on Amazon.
They're better looking too on the wheel.
The black ones?
The stick-on weights.
The stick-on weights.
Yeah.
And I end up still putting like some Gorilla Tape, some black, since we usually have black rims, we put a little piece of black Gorilla Tape over them to hold them on there. So that helps. And we typically just do the front for everybody that's wondering on our dual sports. That's all we'd be dealing with. I got a good question here. This is one that I thought it's about chains. Hunter M. He wrote me, says, thought I'd pick your brain a little. I wear out chains what appears to be excessively quick. I typically have to replace them what I feel it to be every 10 hours. Now I'm on my third chain on a 24 450 SXF with 28 hours. 28, Donnie. I typically lube and clean them every wash. I do not use a power washer at the car wash. I wash to clean the bike, but I wouldn't say I shoot the chain point blank. Okay, that's good. He's not like blasting that chain. I hardly blast the chain at all. Even when I'm washing, I try not to really get that power washer into the chain. Okay, so that's good not to do. I had a similar issue with my FC 450 2019. He would triple, quadruple check his chain measurement and the lines and swing arm. He wanted to make sure that his wheel's straight. He would check all that. He says, I do run slack around 65 to 70 in this KTM. Check the slack regularly. I also use the DID ER T3 chain and a Renthal R1 520 chains for the most part. Thanks again. Okay, so a bunch of things there. And I wrote them because this is a common problem. And the biggest part of this problem is 4 strokes. So then this is what I tell him at first. Let me read you what I wrote him. Okay, those chains are fine. You mentioned, but the stock KTM chain is very good. The stock KTM chain lasts forever. It's really
still
good.
have the stock KTM
on which
chain
one?
On my SXF.
On your SXF. They last so long. They're one of the best, the only good stock chain, I would say. Yeah. All the Japanese ones are pretty much garbage. I'm kind of scared even running the stock ones that come on most of the Japanese bikes. Okay. But also those chains that would run, that chain on that he's referencing is the same chain I would run on my bike right behind Donnie, a 95 CR250, which makes probably half as much torque and 40% less power, right, than a current 450.
For sure. And
it's that torque. Okay, that's what's wearing out that chain and sprockets is that torque.
A current 250F has way more horsepower than this.
So that's my first thing, is that these 520 chains were set up for a CR250, YZ250. That's what they were really set up for. So these 450s and even 250 4-strokes, they chew up chains. Okay, I said don't use chain lube. We use an oil or an oily right here. This is a great one. Multi-purpose lube, something like that works great on chains. And after we wash, we blow off the chain with air and then use something like this to displace the water. But then before we hit the track, we'll hit it again with something like this. Oil works great as well. We have a really cool video that Fort 9 did. A guy out of Canada has some really good videos on that. And he has a video that really goes over all of the technical aspects and tests all these different chains. We'll have that link in here. I'll get Spencer to add it into the description. So I thought that was cool. Also, his slack on his chain is way too much. There's a lot of confusion on the current KTM models, but we've done a bunch of testing. It should be around 59 to 60 millimeters. So he's way too loose. Now, the only reason I would ever run it that loose is if he's in fully muddy conditions racing motocross. Otherwise, that 59 to 60 is fine. And we have some links in our Google Doc that explain as to why. We've actually pulled the shock off the bike, no shock, and lifted the swing arm and checked it. So we know what we're talking about. We're not making it up. And we've checked it with good KTM guys. So we know what we're talking about. So 59 to 60. Also, I did add, lastly, on the chains, we run an X-ring style chain on a 450, and you'll never notice the loss of power. Some people go, an X-ring chain is a little too heavy, blah, blah, blah. You're never going to know. It's not a full O-ring chain, so even though it has little O-rings, it doesn't weigh as much as a full O-ring chain. So that's a great option for guys. An X-ring chain is just fine. Now, your rear wheel's not going to spin quite as freely when you're washing your bike, so they get guys kind of bummed about that, but it's fine. It does a good job. So that's really important. I mean, you do notice it, Donnie, how much more you wear out chains and sprockets on 4-strokes compared to 2.
Oh, for sure. It's substantial. And honestly, I mean, other than X-ring or O-ring, what technology has changed in the chain?
Right.
Nothing.
So if you buy a non-O-ring regular chain, it's the same chain that was built in 1995,
right? That
we were running in CR250s.
At one time, I looked at McMaster Car, and I thought, I wonder if I could just buy industrial chain off their 520 industrial chain, and it would work.
The sizing on the American stuff is slightly different.
Yeah,
there's some different sizing for chains.
But I was like, I wonder if it would work.
I don't know if most of them are built for they're built for slow use. Most of them,
yeah, like drive belts,
and they're pretty heavy.
Conveyor, yeah.
So like a regular chain would probably weigh as much as an O-ring chain on our Moto stuff.
Right.
All right, so I got another good one here. I think I'll save those two. I got two right there. We're going to save those, and let's move on to, let's talk about our trail trip, Donnie.
Oh, yeah.
So we went to a mountain trail trip, and we brought some close buds.
Yep.
And Spencer.
Yep.
And Spencer was guide. He is typically guide and trail boss.
Yep.
Sawmule
and
trail clear.
Helper mechanic. And he also, what is it? Helps people up difficult areas.
Because most sections, I ran sweep most of the time. I was in the back most of the time.
Well, you did, and then you got excited and you started moving forward.
I would get bored. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But when I was in the back, I would get to section. He'd already been there a half hour, so he's like fully ready to go, so you get to sections. So
I have to say that this is, like, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I think this was one of the best groups I've ridden with that's this big, that everybody was able to keep moving.
Yeah, it was a fun time. One of the key things is we rented a cabin right at the place we rode from. So we just had to do minimal riding. We went to 4 different places from this cabin. Yeah. So that's the ticket. Because when you go to mountain places, whether it's Colorado, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, Idaho, Washington, Oregon, the western region has all these big mountains, right?
Yep.
Wherever you go, most of the time you have to, say you stay in a hotel in town. You pack your stuff up in your truck or van and then go out to where you're riding anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes away, whatever it is, right? You go ride and then you load up all your stuff and go back into town, find dinner and all this stuff. And I've done this for years, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's great. But this was next level, being able to leave from the place every day. We never had to load up a bike until it was time to leave, right?
Well, being able to change right there at the cabin, right. And it literally saved us like 2 hours a day.
Easy.
Just being able to get your gear on, get to the bike, and get moving.
So fun.
Yeah.
And then we could hop on the bikes and run over to the restaurant.
Yeah.
If we wanted to go eat over there.
Well, I found something else I have a love for that I went over to as well. That little airport.
Oh, yeah.
So I went over there and I hung out at the little airport.
Now, a lot of people comment that they were like, well, why don't you share where you're at? Mm-hmm. And then some people, if you know where we went, you don't need to comment on things because locals would prefer that we don't blow it up. So there are tons of great places throughout, especially the western region with mountain riding. And when I say mountain riding, it's because it's at higher elevation, from 6,000 to 10,000 feet elevation. Yeah. The temperatures get way cooler, so if it's 90 to 100 degrees down in the valleys down lower, this temperatures are 70 to 75, maybe 80 max.
I couldn't believe how perfect the temperature was both the days. It was just amazing.
Yep. So fun time. It's a big commitment. It was fun. We got some great photos that we've hopefully been flashing through here as I'm talking. Got some great photos of the trip. I have a bunch of videos coming out. We also did, you'll see a few photos that Donnie shot of when Spencer and I are talking about the various bikes. We kind of tested 5 different bikes and compared them on the trail during this trip. So no trip is without some work.
Yeah, but it wasn't even that disruptive because everybody wanted to kind of rest at that point anyway, right. Where we got to rest and you guys were still working. And as much as I do, it was kind of awesome because a lot of times I end up shooting a lot of video stuff during things, and I had no responsibility whatsoever, which was amazing.
And I have a couple of drone shots here. Spencer did bring a drone that was kind of fun to play with that a little bit because we just got a real inexpensive little drone.
He made me buy one, basically.
So just got a real small, and it was really cool. It was small, compact, and it fit in his pack. He was able to bust it out. It was too windy in a couple spots, so we couldn't bust it out in all the areas, but it was fun to bring it out in the open areas.
We have a cautionary tale as well, right? A friend of a friend came without the proper kind of bike style, and they got.
Yes, we had one guy came that was more of a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
And a couple guys, not used to riding that kind of stuff. And when you're riding motocross bikes that are being converted over to trail, It can be very easy to smoke clutches and different things, you know.
Yeah.
You
Secondly,
live and learn.
My XCF, it was so perfect up there.
Yeah.
It was so much fun to ride. It just, that bike is nearly perfect.
So 350 XCF, that's what I rode. That's what Donnie rode.
Ours are twins,
Yes.
different color twins.
Yep. I don't like the orange one as much. So
Oh, the orange one's the best looking
yours
one.
did get a bit beat up.
Yeah, that's because of the rider is a problem.
So got beat up a little bit more than mine.
What's funny is, all of those things were literally tip overs.
Right.
I didn't even crash. I just, I got
But when you fall on rocks and stuff, it doesn't take
I got
much.
exhausted.
I smashed a case.
You smashed a case.
That clutch cover.
And I smashed my throttle tube, which was crazy because there's a bark buster on it.
And your shifter?
And my shifter. I didn't even fall when I hit my shifter.
Okay.
And riding the rest of the day with a shifter like that was a bit challenging.
Luckily, I brought it back up.
Yeah.
Shifter, so that was nice.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
the bike was, the next day was,
The bench shifter is in our bag for backup shifter.
Yeah.
Now, is what
Yeah.
Spencer said. So
but we straightened it.
I don't think we ended up, but we ran the.
We did run the better one, but
So it's pretty straightened.
yes.
Okay. And is it back in my bag of tools?
Yeah,
parts.
there was an exchange program that I
Okay.
got a shifter and you got my old one.
Okay, that Moto show. Okay, we do have some new videos up on our channel. We have like 4 new videos from our last show. We have the 2 carb videos, a leaky float fix, and also we did a CRF 50, XR50 carb clean video. That's really cool. And Spencer made a cool song for that one also that has a China carb versus.
That was so good.
And then there's the leaky gas one too. That one's funny too. Okay.
Spencer's getting to be he's going to be music producer here pretty soon.
And then we have a brake rebuild one with brake bleeding. Rado helped me with that one. And then we did a Yamaha GYTR fan one. That that song's pretty good too.
Yeah.
That one's a little more country rock.
Yeah, but that one's good too.
That's a good one. I think he made that song while we were on the trip.
He did. Yeah.
So you got to listen to it. You got a pre-party you listen to.
I got a pre-party. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, projects as of late we've been working on. We did update on that YZ450 FX, which we have a picture of that bike right here. That's the number 3. We call it Eli's trail bike. Spencer, I did ride it a decent amount in kind of one of the tougher areas, and it was surprisingly so good. I was really surprised at how good it was. And we're going to keep doing some things to that bike. A lot of Yamaha fans out there. We had the 250 FX on this trip and the 450. Yes, I think we would prefer there was one right in the middle of those two. You do the math on that, right, Donnie?
Yeah.
So that would be I think, be really cool. Unfortunately, I don't think it's happening. Now would be the time to kick KTM while they're down a little bit, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, this would have been the time, and there's nothing. So I don't think we're getting anything.
Hey, we got to go back for a second. You were belly aching at the end of that trip it was.
I said I'm never trail riding again.
Never trail riding again.
So let's throw a picture of my X-ray here.
Yeah.
I went and got an X-ray on my foot just to make sure because it's got a hematoma right next to that big bone on the inside that sticks out. I forget the name of it. They told me, but it looks like I'm okay. No, nothing broke. But I got a hematoma, kind of like the size of a golf ball head, but only like let's say the top 20% of the golf ball or so is sticking up, and it's like all hard, and it hurts to touch it. So that's what's going on right there in my upper ankle. And so, but we're good there. And then my elbow's been giving me big grief with a tennis elbow. And if I mention that, then everybody's got 12 different things to try and do, which I've done all of them. Exercises, shots, everything.
I got something you could do, but it's very expensive.
Okay.
I got stabbed.
Whatever I do, they're going to want me to, here's the deal. Even if I did, whatever you call that.
Stem cell.
Yeah. The placenta deal. Okay. So if they did that, they'd still want me not to use it for 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's the problem.
I don't think so.
Yeah. I think they're going to, you go straight to doing tires or doing anything gnarly. It's just going to aggravate it straight away. I think that's the problem is you keep aggravating it with everything I do.
You need a stunt tire guy.
Right. So I need to work on that. So on that 450 FX, we changed. Originally, we had 1452 gearing. We went out riding early in June, and we discovered that on the trail that it was still first gear is just still too low. Second gear just still too low. So we went to 1450, and this woke it up. Stock is 1350 on this bike, so we went to 1450. Basically 3.5 teeth, right?
Yep.
That's really what we took away from this thing. First gear is completely worthless on this bike. I mean,
why is it so low?
I don't know what they're doing.
Tractor pulls.
It's crazy. So in first gear now you can actually use first gear, and I think this gearing is really good for somebody. I think for most people, because it works great on the connector stuff, because it only has 5 speeds. It doesn't have a 6 speed. So now your top end speed is going to be greater, not flogging this thing in 5th gear. You got a higher top end speed, and first gear is perfectly usable on the tightest, gnarliest stuff.
Is this now the choice trail bike for Spencer?
Yeah, I think he's
And
pretty
how
happy.
does it compare to the Honda of last year?
I think he's liking it better.
Yeah.
Now, we are going to keep doing some stuff. I'm ordering, right now I'm in the process of getting a WR stator and flywheel. And a headlight from Baja and Moto Minded, and we're going to put up a headlight setup on this bike. That's our next step. So we got that step, and then a Vortex from Jamie at Twisted. We've been messing with the stock ECU mapping for a long time. Now we're going to try the Vortex because it just could be cleaner. I don't know that we're getting it with the tuning tool. So we're going to play with it. So it's a fun thing to keep playing with.
It looked good.
Yeah, it's a fun bike. We should have had you try it out.
Yeah, here's the problem is, like, I thought about trying others' bikes, and even that one. But honestly, I can't state enough how good my bike felt.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just felt like, you know what?
And when you're riding in tough stuff, a lot of tough stuff, and you got some good footage you shot, right? We can put some of that in here.
Yep.
When you're going through tough stuff, you want to stay on the bike you're most comfortable with,
Yep.
and also not scratch up somebody else's bike.
Yeah.
So all those things go through your head. If I'm going to drop a bike, I might as well drop my bike, right?
Yeah.
So those things go through your head.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be worried about scratching yours.
So anyway, it was a great time. Totally fun deal. Let's get into our questions.
Let's go.
Show 35. We got some good tech questions. We start off with Kyle L. Let's see here. He says he has a 24 450 SXF, 11 hours. I just started the bike, warm it up to the third oil change is all he's done. And after a couple seconds, the oil leaked out of where the circled below. So he's got and I have a video here, Donnie. It's in the show folder. You can play this video. You're going to see oil just pouring right out from the valve cover, right down the cylinder head. He broke in the bike properly. He changed the oil filter. He says he did everything right. And he says, I changed the air filter every ride. Oil level's still good. Oil level was still good before I just started the bike. I was like, man, this looks terrible. I can see the oil pouring out. It's coming out of this thing, and it's a brand new bike. And I was like pretty concerned for the dude for pumping oil out. It's really strange that the valve cover got damaged. It makes no sense that the valve cover would get.
No.
Usually if the valve cover has a problem, it just seeps a tiny bit. You get a little seepage. You can wipe it off. Nope, not a big deal. You could do a new valve cover and seal it later. But this was more. And you know who figured it out was David. I sent him the video. He goes, he had a couple ideas. Hey, you need to do this. But then he goes, is there a chance the bike is sitting on the overflow hose? And I looked at the stand in the video, and the stand he had it's a cool stand. I'm not sure who makes this one, but
it's pinched.
Enduro Engineering makes those 2 bars stands, so it sits. So it had to be pinched. He didn't know it for sure. He moved on in the process, but after he put everything back, I said, put it all back and try it without it being on the stand, and problem solved. So
crazy. Yeah. happened while he had it on the stand for a bit.
Yeah. So after he did his oil change, he starts it up to check it out, which I probably hardly ever do. I change the oil. I don't start it. But he did. And it just happened that it was the worst case thing. So it was kind of interesting, and I appreciate David for helping us with that.
Well, David,
he's pretty sharp.
He's got a lot of knowledge with that.
He's pretty sharp to think of that as a good option. So that was an interesting one. We saw that much pouring out. Okay. You got this one, Donnie?
Oh, sure. Sure. Delvy S. Hey, Jay, how are you? It's been a long time since I reached out to you, as the new trusty 2023 YZ250X is doing very well. Yesterday, I fell into a muddy water ditch on the trail and could not kick the bike after taking it out. Realized that water must have gone inside the cylinder and hydrolocked the engine. Then we removed the plug and kicked the engine several times to push the water out, while holding the bike vertical at the balance point. After soaking filter dry, YZ started and managed to come down the mountain without any trouble. Now,
good job. Everything he did was correct. So when you flood him out, and also when you see these video, or there's some photos, and I think a video, there's photos or video, I can't remember, but there's in the show folder, he did this like in 4 or 5 inches of water. So it doesn't take much. You fall just right, it can run right in. So first thing you do is pick up that bike, stand it up, pull the air filter out, stand it up. It'll come out the exhaust, and it'll come out the air filter, the carburetor, or if you have a fuel injected bike, it's going to come out that area. So that's the first thing I would do. Keep it standing up as long as you can, and at that point you can move the Kickstarter a little bit, try to turn the motor over, and help push more out. So that's the first thing I would do, is exactly what he did. 2-stroke, if you can get that plug off, that's great. But in many times we've done it and never even had to do that. Take the spark plug out, just stand it up, and then go try to start it, and it's fine. All right, go ahead.
It said, now that what shall we check before next ride on Sunday? Transmission oil. Do I need to open the top end, inspect the crank chamber? I hope I don't have to split the case. Looking forward to your guidance below. 2 pics tells what happened and what I did.
Yeah, I wouldn't do anything. Just go ride it. You got everything out of there.
He rode it down the mountain.
Right.
That's good.
It's already done.
It's done.
But I would probably do the transmission oil anyway. If it laid in there, maybe got some water in there as well. But it doesn't hurt to change it. Probably needs to be changed anyway. So that's the only thing I would do. And you could, if you're concerned about there being water in your gas, you could check that. And carburetor, that there's no extra water laying around. But other than that, you don't need to. You've already if you've run it for any period of time, you've already gotten all dirt and junk out of the engine. Damage is done. Go on. You're usually fine. Now, if it gets a ton of dirt and silt, that's a different story. Most of those times, a lot of guys, you're not getting it started anyway, so it's gonna have to come apart. All right. So Dan, that's a good one. It does happen. We've had to do it a couple times in our lives, and we try not to. We actually had a couple places on that trip that we went on where we could have gone over some bigger river crossings that we were concerned about, and we kind of didn't go that way for that reason.
I did fall in the pond.
Oh yeah, Donnie did fall.
I did
ahead
fall.
of me. I heard it on the Cardos.
Yeah,
Cardo systems right here. How good is this on the trail,
dude? It's a game changer. It's a game changer for safety, for not having to guess on which trail we're going. It's unbelievable.
Right. It just makes it so much better.
The reach is unbelievable.
Yeah. So it does. And the more guys that are on it, the better it does. So Donnie, I hear Donnie up there. Oh yeah, Donnie. Because I get to the spot and I go, which way do I go? They're like, and it wasn't real clear who was saying left or right. Go, don't go the way Donnie did. That's what they're saying.
I filled my boots with water. Dry Star boots weren't dry anymore. But the bike never shut off. And so I picked it up real quick.
Just kept it running.
And so I kind of fell under the bike, and that's why it did it. But I did do something, man. This is a very important tip. I brought an extra set of gloves with me on the trail ride.
Yep, I had some.
So I pulled I was fine. I pulled the other gloves out and kept going.
It's nice if your hands are at least dry, because you're not slipping off for sure. So that was cool, and it was kind of funny. I get there and you're like, yeah, I'm pretty wet.
Yeah.
So that was a fun one.
Yep.
That was right before the kind of the tougher section, and that next section is where I smashed my ankle.
And the next section is where the clutch
went out for the other guy.
Yep.
All right. Dan K says, hello, I just saw a great video of your 24 YZ 250F build. You mentioned the twisted ECU. I just picked one up, and every setting is fire-breathing dragon.
Whoa.
Did he mellow out your settings? If so, could you share and you can have him duplicate it for me? Thank you. It's a 250F. There's zero reason to tone it down.
No reason to mellow it out.
No. So
I was excited when he said fire-breathing dragon.
Right. So I did talk to him, and he said he's going to man up and just ride harder and ride more.
That's perfect. All right. Greg P. Jay, I'd like to know how to change the steering offset of my 2023 Husky FC 450 Rockstar Edition. It comes stock with a 22 millimeter offset. I'd like to change it to 20 with the stock setup. But the service manual and even the dealer have no instructions on how to do it. I thought if anybody would know how to do it, it would be you. Thank you. Love the YouTube channel and website. I've learned a lot from you.
Okay, here's the deal right here. This is not off of one of those bikes, but it's similar deal. So what they do on this, if you want to change that offset, instead of pressing out the stem, they give you 2 bolts right here. And it might be a little different on the factory edition, but I think X-Triggs, who makes those right there, So there's two little bolts right here like this, and you just undo those bolts, and then you can swap the stem around, and it's like cammed or keyed, and it's going to turn around and it'll switch. And I think did he say in there which one? Yeah, 20 to 22.
22, and he wanted 20.
So people ask, well, what's going to be best or what's the way to go? That's all going to depend. For us, we're totally happy with the stock offset. I think a 20 is going to be somebody that's riding just really tight stuff who might want to have it come in and test that. So if it's something you want to test and you have a factory edition and you're mainly riding tighter stuff, it's something you could look at. And it's not that hard. They make it, I call it American proof.
Yeah.
So that it's somewhat easy for us idiots, right?
For sure.
Okay, Stephen R. But good question. If you have one of those bikes, and I think the next time we do one, maybe, Donnie, when we put this, we're going to put this on Donnie's EXC. He has this left over from another build, and it's off an older bike, and we're going to put it on his 24, 25 generation bike. And you can run these old clamps. You have to switch just one piece, which I already ordered for you. I got that coming.
Well, thank you.
And we'll order it, and maybe we can pull this off, and we'll do a video on that.
Sure.
And talk about it. Okay. All right. So we got Stephen R. says, "Hey Jay, I watch your videos all the time. Thank you. Question is, my grandson races a TC50, so same as a KTM 50. He practiced the other day. He came back and took a break, and it wouldn't start. Put a new plug in. Nothing. Kickstarter." I unplugged the kill switch. He did everything he's supposed to do. And he already changed the stator last year. Boom, boom, change out. It's another stator. So he says, I'm so frustrated. I can't wait to go to Yamaha's next year, 65s. I understand. And then he asked if there's some surface rust getting on his stator magneto, would it help to clean that up? Also, do you have any hacks to help the longevity of the stator in these little 50s? I'm sick of buying these things, LOL. Now, so these little bikes, many of these little bikes, even though we think it's expensive, it's really not that expensive. So a lot of those componentries isn't as good as it could or should be, right?
For sure.
And they're building them to be racers, and to keep them even priced where they are, they have to use some cheaper components. Now, as far as getting water in there, one thing you can do on two-strokes is you can just pull that stator cover off. Especially if you're riding a lot of muddy situations or you have to wash the bike excessively, pull that stator cover off, spray a little bit of something like, some type of lube in there, blow it off with air, keep the condensation out of there. That's something that would help at least keep the surface rust. And who knows if that's going to help the longevity of the stator or not, right?
What do you think that's from? Just getting water in there?
Condensation, yeah.
Condensation.
And they do get water in there. So some of them maybe aren't sealed up as good on some of those bikes.
Would taking it off after every wash and drying it out help out?
That's what, we did it in the 90s a ton on some of the bikes.
I remember that.
The Cowie, certain bikes we'd have to do it a bunch. They would get water in, so we take it apart and blow it out, put it back on. It's 4 bolts typically.
Yep.
Not a big deal. Put it back on. So that was a common thing. So, and if you had some syrup, you can do a little bit of Scotch-Brite to clean up any, things. I don't know that you can prevent them from going out, but helping keep water out of there is probably going to help in some ways. So, and
those bikes are always they're more work than the size of the bike.
When the dads write me, I just go, hey, every bike you move up from 50, 65, 85, 125, 250F, every bike up is going to be a little celebration of less work.
It's like a graduation party you have each time you go up.
Yes, because it just gets less and less work. So big bikes, way less work.
How's changing tires on those little bikes, Jay?
That's not good either.
Yeah.
So, all right, Brett C., I'm looking at a 98 RMX. Are they good bikes to do a rebuild with? No, because I have a 93 for sale. You can just take that one. That just save you all the hassle.
Don't need to be rebuilt.
Yeah. All right.
Amir says, hey, what's up, bro? I have a KTM 525 XC whose cylinder broke. I wanted to know if you recommend putting an iron sleeve instead.
No. If you can at all, even if you got a used cylinder, you got a hone. KTM usually only sells the cylinders with a piston, and they're pretty costly. But maybe you can find a good used setup on eBay or something like that. That's what I tell people.
Cylinder with a piston?
Yeah.
They come together.
Yeah, a lot of the KTM bikes.
It's like that piston over there. Remember the piston I had? Yeah.
With a cylinder. That's it.
Wow.
So many of those. All right, we got Billy G. He says he's a big fan of our YouTube channel. I've watched a ton of your videos, referring to tire change and refer to your tire change videos one every time I do a tire. I'm actually riding on behalf of my brother. Him and I both have 23 TE 250s. I'm 5'9", about 145 pounds, and he's 5'11", 200 pounds. So his brother's a little bit bigger.
Is that the milkman's son?
Yeah, both bikes are pretty much stock, other than some cosmetic exhaust, seat covers, etc. I feel extremely uncomfortable on my bike, but I feel extremely comfortable on my bike. So he's happy with the stock setup, but he struggled to find that since he got it. He tried a small set of bar risers, which he just recently took back off, along with moving the bar clamps to the forward holes and the triple clamps and moving the forks down a bit. He says he always feels like the front is light. Any suggestions on some things they can try? Also, at this at his weight and height, big difference. Would it make it send the suspension off to him to help? We mostly ride single track, mild enduro, occasional track, and there's some when there's some snow in the hills. Thanks, Billy from Northern Idaho. So. First of all, if he weighs that much more, I don't know if they're checking sag. I'm guessing probably not. But sag should probably be like 100 and, anywhere from 102 to 105. So if he's down lower than that, then things sitting like this, that front end is feeling light because he's not putting any weight on it, right?
For sure. No, I was just like, I was just thinking about it the way you were saying.
Yeah. So so that's the first thing is
that sag will make the front end feel like it's not even touching the ground.
Probably undersprung front and rear, but especially rear. And so it's sitting down real low.
You got to be careful, though, when you're so big and you're pulling that sag down, right? I mean, you're getting that much sag out of the bike. The spring starts to become...
Right. And that's why you want to check your free sag. So if your free sag gets to be like less than 20 or something...
Not a lot of people understand free sag or even check it.
Yeah. So on sag, we have some videos on that too. But with sag, there's tons of videos out there. You can Google how to set sag. But realistically, it's best to do it at the house, in the shop. And guys go, you got to have all your gear on. You really don't. You can do some math and know that most guys are going to gain, 3 to 4 millimeters of sag when they put all their gear on. Now, if you're carrying a pack and all that, then 5 to 6 millimeters. And you could check it again when you're out at the track or trailhead. You can check it again there, but you could rough it out in your garage with minimal gear on, so you don't have to gear up in your garage just to check sag if you're, feeling like that. But you want to check it, and it's nice being on a nice level surface. That's the biggest thing that's going to help a ton. That's why I like to do it at home. So you got that. You can check it there, which is about 4 inches to a 4 and a 1/8 inches if you're thinking, in inches, and for those that are stuck on standard, right? So, but free sag. So when you're done checking it, you should be zeroed out. You should be able to push on the bike. And what that free sag settles into, usually that's going to range anywhere from 30 to 40 millimeters range, typically, or anywhere like actually 25 to 40. It can be anywhere in there. But if that free sag gets to be less than 20, then you're clapping that spring too much, which is probably going to happen if he's over 200 pounds. Yeah.
So on a bike like that, there's a standard what Husky is shooting for what weight should be on that bike, right?
Right.
And what is that range?
Well, I think his brother's closer to it. It's probably in the 150 to 170 range.
150 to 170.
That's my guess. And
so you're talking he's minimum 30 pounds.
Probably, yes.
Over the spring.
And I do think on the bars, I don't like the bar risers much. I'm not a fan of those because even at 5'11", I just think most guys, if they just move the bars to that forward position and went with some taller bars, like the Champ Bin on the ODIs or even a little bit taller bar, they'd be just fine. So as far as opening up the cockpit and getting more forward, that's what I'd probably look at.
Yeah.
All right.
Shannon C. Hey, mate. I'm assuming he's from some other country.
He's down under.
Need some help. I've got a 2010 CRF 250, and I've just got some 2014 wheels to go on the bike. If I get spacers for the 2014 wheels, will they fit on my 2010?
No. Do you remember this? Because you were riding Hondas back then.
Yep.
Do you remember what year it switched?
I think 2013 it switched.
Good job. So the 450 was 13.
Yep.
The 250 was 14.
Yep.
So if he got new wheels, newer, is 14 wheels.
Yep.
They're not good. And the front's no problem.
Yep.
So the rear, it'll bolt up and it looks like it's working, but the axle is the rear sprocket is off.
Over. Yeah.
And you can die.
Yes.
Okay. Because you have it off, the chain's going to derail. And if it's bad. And right when this happened, I remember some guys crashed because they threw on old wheels. It bolts up, it's fine. And they didn't bother to look that the sprocket was way over here, running diagonal like this, and it derailed and they carted up and crashed.
Dang, that's terrible. When I had my, 2003 through 2013 CRFs and 2015. But I got rid of all my wheels when I got the 13, and I had a ton of them.
Well, what I did, because we were dealing with all the bikes, and the 450X stayed the same for a long time.
Yes.
So what I did, DecalWorks made me up these little stickers.
Yeah.
And I put them on the hub.
Oh, nice.
And
Good
it
idea.
said pre-2013 or whatever. It had the years, and then it said 13 and up and 13 and up 450 and 14 and up boom. So each hub, and some of the wheels, it was really kind of hard to tell, especially aftermarket wheels. You couldn't hardly tell which one was which. Tell. So that's why we put these stickers on. I still have a few of them left, but now all of our wheels, we pretty much just have newer on the Honda stuff. So
I had another issue because I was doing that other sport. And so those wheels, that was really sketchy because if you're doing 90 miles an hour, that was a real problem. So I kind of said, I'm not going to keep any of the older wheels around.
Right. Okay. Bill C. Sorry, I think that's our last little tech question here.
Yeah, I think so.
My message, he says, love your stuff. I see you time to time riding at Glen Helen. That's cool. He could come say hi. Had a question for your maintenance related. My first bike is a 24 350 SXF. Good bike, right, Donnie?
Yep.
And while doing oil changes, I drain the oil, filter, and screen. I purchased the KTM oil change kit and pour in 1 liters, but it's always full to the sight glass. It says it's supposed to be halfway full in the glass. Some people say to watch it be to the half. Some people say dump the entire bottle in. Any help would be appreciated. First of all, I'd never even looked at the glass.
Neither have I.
Never.
Nope.
Okay, just put in the right amount.
Right.
That was the full bottle. Now, I will say we actually run more oil than this. We changed the drain at the bottom, at the crankcase. So if we do that one and an oil filter and the screen he's talking about, if we change all that, we'd put in basically 1 1/4 bottles, so 1250 range. And as far as a bottle and a quarter is what you would typically put in. With our standard quarts here that we have. So that's what I would look at putting in. And we also have a larger clutch cover, slightly. It holds about 40 to 50 cc's more with the recluse cover on there. So all that stuff combined, we end up, and guys, why do you run more oil? And the answer is, first of all, guys will say, and they know this from all types of racing and everything, the bike is faster with less oil. Yep. But for most of us, it's not going to matter. Everything lasts longer with more oil because it stays cooler. Clutch lasts longer, piston, everything's going to last longer with more oil. So if you can run more oil, and most of the bikes you can run more oil, and if you come up with specific questions, we'll be glad to help you on that. So, on your bike, most of them I kind of know. If you do run a larger clutch cover, like a billet cover, usually they allow 40 to 50 cc's more of oil just right there alone. And then most bikes can run 50 to 70 more than what they tell you stock. And I get little inside tracks on some of the teams. We have some bikes that really can't hold up on clutches, so you have to run more than they recommend, especially 250Fs. Some models you have to run. So that's something to keep in mind.
Hey, we don't have to talk about it now, or we can, but we didn't really touch on racing in terms of Star changing all those motors out on their bikes.
Yeah. So the Star's been interesting this year. They've been dominating 250s for years, right?
Yeah.
And then at Colorado, they were not up there where they should have been.
No.
Something really happened there, and Deegan had to switch a motor. And people go, "Oh, him and Tomac have been hard. They're hard on." Like, no, they should be able to handle it. They're
100%,
really
and they've ridden bikes for years that way.
At Colorado, I think it was more of a setup, compression motor setup issue, because the next week, what was the next week at High Point?
High Point.
Shoot, I think they had 3 in the top 5 both starts, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So they were just the bikes are right back where they were. Then we get to Redbud, and Tomac has a 450 problem, which I think just Cooper Webb had an engine problem.
Yep.
But we're hearing that one was gas. Supposedly they ran out of gas.
That Cooper Webb did.
Yeah.
How do you run out of gas?
I think it was a long race, and maybe they didn't get topped off as much.
But we don't know. But they switched all 3 guys, 450 guys, motors.
Yeah, they'd just be cautious after
Tomac's deal.
Yeah. So you're going to be cautious and check everything out.
That's kind of crazy because the Yamahas first are known for their reliability.
Yeah.
And I know these are built bikes, but also that these motor problems are going on is a little bit odd.
Now we're pretty confident that Tomac is pretty much everybody knows now that he's moving on. Isn't it kind of funny in our sport that you can't announce this? You know, in MotoGP and every other form of racing.
Oh, you know.
Well, not just that, they talk about it openly.
Yeah.
It's just part of business. Like, this is business. Yeah, I'm leaving this team next year. It also, I think in a way, allows more transparency. It allows more transparency. Of course, we can see it. But also, like when Marquez left Honda, I watched some of the things. At the end, he's thanking his team and everything and hugging everybody at the last race because he still had a lot of good feelings from when they were doing well. Right?
Yeah, cordial feelings.
Yeah. That stuff doesn't really happen because it's all this like hidden resentment and whatever because this guy's leaving and this guy's going here. So we pretty much, that's one unfortunate thing with our sport.
Would you on your bingo card would had Tomac going to this team 2 years ago? This
late in his career? No, there's no way. So at the end of the day, do we think he can beat Jet, Supercross, or Motocross heads up? And the answer is probably no. But
I don't want to hear that negativity.
But is he a second or third place best guy?
I don't want to hear that negativity.
Hey, we reminder on our Rocky Mountain dirt bike league. I think, are we both doing just as terribly?
Oh, I'm doing terrible because I only vote with my heart. I vote what I want, not what I know will happen.
Right. All right, so I'm getting better about that. I'm going to pick that up.
I know, like, Spencer's doing good because he is smart enough to go, I don't care how I feel.
Right. I'm going to
go with what I know.
Right. So, anyway, motocross has been fun to watch, man. I just love it. All right, Donnie, as you know, I got that KX500.
Yep.
I haven't even tore it down yet.
Yep.
But I talked to...
Which I'm shocked about because when we did mine, you said, I will never do this again.
Yeah. I also said I wouldn't trail ride again after that last trail ride.
It hasn't even been a week, dude, and you're like...
No, it's been like a week and a half.
Oh, sorry, a week and a half.
So on the drive here, I was talking to Donnie on the phone. I'm like, man, I think I want to go trail ride again.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out how we could get up to the mountains again.
Yeah.
Before, all the snow is gone.
Up to Bass Lake.
And while the rivers are still flowing and all that. So I was thinking how I can do this sooner than later. I know Jim would go right away, and Rado would probably go. So
yeah,
I'm still not. So I'm starting as soon as my ankle heals.
Depending on timing, I'm pretty sure I would go.
All right. So yes, I changed my mind. I just talk junk. So I got the KX500. I haven't started tearing it down yet, but I talked to KX Guru. Now KX Guru is a group of dudes. They don't really have a shop or anything. It's a group of KX fanatics. And there's some good dudes there, and they already sent me the welding kit. This is the welding kit that they have made up in JT engines. Is one that, and I don't know if they laser or water jet this out. I think it's water jet.
It's water jet. Yeah.
So they cut these out, these plates, and then they have a video. They have a YouTube video that shows you where to put all these. So we're going to run this with the Scar foot peg mounts that
your welder buddy going to do that?
We did on your bike. Most likely, yes.
Yes.
So we're going to watch the video and see, and then we're going to get that set up. So that KX500 project's a big one. So
is Spencer excited that you guys will have one in the stable?
Yeah, he says he's excited, and he wants me to not let him not ride it like the CRs.
Yeah.
So we'll see how.
Well, he's ridden mine.
Yeah, I know. So I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be a fun build. It's going to take a while. This could be a long, long project. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Mine was a year and a half.
Yeah. This will be at least that.
Yeah.
At least that. So we got plenty to do. Spec Bolt makes cool little kits. We got their sprocket bolt kits. It's a good idea to, after every 3, 4, 5 sprocket changes, if you start to notice the bolts get easier, the nuts are getting tough, it stretches out the bolts. So you want to put new ones in every few sprocket changes. If you're doing it's nice to get a whole set like that. Okay. Ozzy Osbourne. They just this past weekend in Birmingham, England, they had a farewell concert to Black Sabbath and Ozzy, and it was actually pretty cool. Tons of cool clips you can see on the internet.
Yeah.
Tons of cool clips. I prefer, like the popular songs like Ozzy, I prefer most of his solo stuff to Black Sabbath, for sure, because I'm not, on drugs. Okay. So
because I don't do drugs.
I don't. So then Ozzy in the early 90s got way more radio. You got more poppy.
For sure.
And this album, Mr. Tinkerton, this album is No More Tears. And I sing this to my daughter's girls when they're crying. No more tears. And I got Jaylee sings it to her little sister.
Oh my gosh.
It's so funny, dude. No more tears.
You're starting them out right.
Yes. So, Mr. Tinkerton, I don't want to change the world. Mama, I'm coming home. That's actually been a really popular
amazing song.
Yeah, Desire is really good. No More Tears, Sin, Hellraiser, Time After Time, Zombie Stomp, AVH, and Road to Nowhere. And then we got Ultimate Sin here. This with Jakey Lee on guitar. Stuff's really good. Shot in the Dark.
Spencer sent me a text about the KX500. Said the challenge will be to finish the KX500 in 500 days.
In 500 days.
So the 500 and 500, the 500 and 500.
And I'm already 20 days in. I've had the bike for a few weeks and not done anything.
Yeah.
Other than get this.
I like this challenge. We need accountants.
That's a good one. 500 days.
Yeah.
So that's like a year and a half.
Right. 500 and 500.
Yeah. 500 days. That's a good one.
Did you ever watch the Aussie show, the TV show?
Yes, a little bit. Yes, some of them were so funny.
Some of them were so fun. Hey, and you know that he got hurt real bad. Do you remember this? He got hurt real bad riding an ATV.
Yeah.
No helmet, no nothing.
No, you're just gonna go for it.
You're just gonna go.
Yeah, we got some great comments. Let's get to these. First one's on the KX500. It's James. He was over from the UK. He says, "Hello, great video. Love USA." This is on our KX500 build. Went to Denver. Loved it there. Can do some kickstarts. Love the sound of the KX500. And he wishes us all the best.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
That's my bike he's talking about.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then our next one is from Let's Ride 614. This is on our YZ 450FX video we have on the GYTR clutch install.
Yep.
I agree with Tomac. I hate the feel or lack of feedback from a hydro clutch. I have tried several times, but keep going back to the good old cable clutch. Well, first of all, he can't be riding any cool new bikes, right?
Nope.
And for me, now, converting a cable clutch bike to a hydraulic clutch bike is not the same thing.
No.
That doesn't even count.
No.
Now, the new Yamaha was set up to take it, and the 26 Yamaha is only going to have hydraulic clutch. You know that?
Yeah.
So they switched. Before it was an option. You had a cable clutch, and then they made it the case and everything so you could put the slate in and everything. Now, 26, it only comes.
Over.
It's over.
Well, here's the thing. He can agree with Tomac all he wants. Tomac has no choice next year.
No choice.
No choice.
All right.
Let me see. From Steve Smith, he says the 2025 YZ FX GRIT clutch install. Cooper Webb runs a hydraulic clutch, and he's a Supercross champion.
3 times.
Three times.
I think he's won all of those with hydraulic clutch,
I feel like Cooper is totally shortchanged. Like on his, like everybody's like, named this guy great, this guy great. How many people have 3 championships?
No, and I'd say how many does Supercross has Dungey have? 2? 2 450 championships?
2 450.
I don't know.
He has 3 450.
Supercross?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, someone's going to correct us on this.
I think he has 3 450.
Why don't you check your chat?
I'm going to check it.
Okay, now we get into, you're going to love this. There's a real theme here going on with our new song. And this was from the show 34 that we did in the backyard there with Spencer. He says, this is show 34. It says, killer theme song. And, that was from Valentine Station. And then we have another one from that same show, SoCal Rider 1754. So I guess he's from Southern California.
Right.
And he says, I went to buy a bike in Marietta recently and got hit with a $700 extra charge passed on to me due to import tariffs. Dirt bikes are already expensive enough. What are your thoughts on these extra tariffs raising the prices even more? First of all, if he got a tariff charge
Ryan Dungey has run 4
oh my gosh.
Supercross championships.
So that was done real quietly because I would not have guessed he got 4.
2010, 2015, 2016, 2017.
Jeez.
Remember, he ran the rookie year. Sorry.
Good job, Dungey. That's rad.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't think anybody should be charging a tariff on a bike that they got pre-tariff, first of all.
Nope.
So, and I don't know, and as far as tariffs go, Donnie knows, I don't pay attention to a ton of politics because I really don't care, but I will say that fair trade and fairness in our society and for Americans is probably very needed. And if it means that some things are going to cost more and eventually we can get some more stuff made here, metal stuff, machine stuff in the USA, I'm kind of for it. If it's going to help.
Also don't want to get too deep in it. You already know where I stand.
Yeah.
His revenue from tariffs have gone, it's like 1,000% up. So we've already seen billions upon billions of dollars in revenue from that.
Yeah. So it's screwing. If some people are going to be tough, but companies like FMF, these guys, 99% or basically 100% of their stuff is made here in the USA.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's going to affect their materials if they all come from here, but there's companies that are going to not be as affected by it as some other companies. So that's something to look at. But as far as buying a bike, if a bike is a 24, 25 bike that was already here, I think I'd be questioning that dealership a little bit as to why they're trying to ding you with a charge that they didn't get charged, because the timing on that doesn't seem to line up. So that seems a little bit suspicious, right?
Right.
All right, next one we got Ejax 3871. Please post the song. It's on its own video so I can save it to my playlist. That's for the Moto Show song. He likes it that much. Hey, at the end of this show, after we do all of our stuff, I want you to play the full song, right?
Perfect.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Play the whole song, and then during the song, you can just put up some video and photos from the trail trip. You even have more of them.
Sounds good.
Okay, like you did at the beginning, right?
Yep.
So at the show, we're just going to, at the end of the show, you could skip to the end of the show, listen to the song.
They're going to love it. The song's amazing.
And we'll have a mirage of photos and video for you to watch.
Mirage? No, that's that you don't see. Barrage.
A plethora, a buffet.
A barrage of photos.
Barrage.
Okay.
So that's what he wants the song. And I wish I could put it on Spotify or something. I haven't figured that out. We checked into a little bit. It's going to be pretty involved to get it on like Spotify or somewhere where you can go
iTunes,
grab
Spotify.
it. Yeah. So we're going to.
There's got to be some place it's going to be easy.
So Spencer's listening. I'm going to have Spencer check into making us. We need to become our own producers.
Yep.
And so Spencer, we're going to see if we can become a band, the Spencer J Band or whatever.
Right.
And we'll come up with some cool, because like, J and S or something or something cool sounding. And then we need to then post these songs for the various videos because they are really good and they're also kind of funny.
We can just put it like they were just saying here. We got a comment, right? Ejax says,
yeah,
just put it as its own song. So we can just put it on YouTube as its own song.
Right.
That's it.
Yes, Spencer has a lot of video from the trail ride. He can make up a trail ride video that's as long as the song and do it that way.
Yeah,
all
just
right,
do
Spencer,
that.
Add that to your list. He's got a really big list.
Do more, Spencer.
All right. So, and then Dirt Surfer says, I got a pretty good chuckle out of the theme song. Laughing, crying face.
Yeah.
34, same thing. Bjork Off-Road says...
Wasn't Bjork like a singer from like Europe?
Yeah. Or this could be Bjork.
Bjork.
Okay. Bjork. That song is incredible. So the reviews are stellar for the song. Okay, another one from Steiner Joseph Volvic. He's from Rados country.
Yeah.
Very good show, Dirt Bike TV. A new song, Jay and Spencer Donnie. Love it, love. Okay.
And Celebration.
All right, you got the next one?
Yeah. It smells like... I went past it. I just wanted to say thanks for the tire stand plans. Use the newly built stand today for the first time. It's a game changer. Fantastic. Thanks for a lot for sharing it. And if you visit Thailand, send me a text.
So funny story.
I owe you dinner. Thanks.
Yeah. So funny story. I am going to Thailand. No, not really.
No, you're not.
No, but
is there a track? Is Glen Helen there?
No. And I'm not really going much of anywhere that I can't drive to. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. Nothing against Thailand. I just don't want to go anywhere. Flying, especially.
Yeah.
It's really
what happens when you fly someplace? It takes away from what?
From riding.
From riding.
Riding. But he wants to take me. Maybe he would take me riding in Thailand. But for those that aren't, my wife every month is like amazed at how many people write us for tire stands. And she's going through the emails, she sees them and she's like, how many people, like, how does not everyone have one by now, the tire stand drawings? But if you don't have the tire stand drawings, we send you an email that has links to the videos that help you. There's a few videos that help and the drawings themselves, a PDF. It'll help you a ton when you go make your own.
I remember when we were measuring, you and I measured it all out.
For one of those, that's the first video we did, right?
Yeah.
One of those videos.
One of those videos. We just started measuring everything. And then a fan drew it up.
I forgot the guy's name, and he's on the print.
Yeah.
His name's on there, so give him credit. He's the one that did it. He's the one that drew. So he goes, hey, I thought you might like this. So he made a drawing based on our video.
Yeah.
So he saw the video. We measured it and showed the angles and stuff.
It's legit.
And then he made a drawing of it.
It's legit.
And then we have videos with a guy cutting up all the material. He shows you how to cut up all the material, and he has it all laid out. So
you know what's cool about the tire stand is that a lot of guys, there's a lot of guys that put their own spin on it.
Yes.
which I think is cool. It's like they put little holders and stuff like that. I dig that.
And they have interchangeable. So I just have multiple tire stands.
Yeah.
Because you need one for the little bikes, which is about 12 millimeters, which is very small spigot coming off. And then it's nice if it's a big spigot for the big bikes. And so guys have interchangeable spigots on there.
It's like that tire stand has basically been around the world.
Yeah, it's so cool how many people all over the world, they request this and they build them all over. They send us photos. We love it.
It's awesome.
It's really cool because people go, why do you do this for free? And why don't you just make them and sell them? First of all, the whole point of these tire stands is that they're heavy duty. Ours weighs, 80 pounds or whatever. It's like for us to, and it's solid. It's not like bolted together. So if you were to make one solid like that and try to ship it, it'd cost you $150 to ship it somewhere.
Have you ever thought about doing one in aluminum? Would it work?
Yes, I've seen some people do it. You still need like a steel plate or something up there threaded into
for sure.
Your post.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
We've seen guys make them out of stainless, gorgeous out of stainless, just out of everything, right? It's awesome. A lot of guys make them out of wood because they don't have any steel skills or welding. Made them out of wood. They've made it work, and they just have a steel post coming out.
That's incredible.
Yeah, they've made do.
Yep.
So, and then our next one is from that same show. It says, Rob H says, love that Moto Show theme song. Makes me want to ride. I listened to it like 3 times while I was getting this show ready, while I was getting some notes ready at the computer, and it does make me want to ride.
Right.
Yeah.
Gives you that kick.
Work on dirt bikes.
Here's another one from Nick Van Nick. The new theme song rocks. I had a big smile on my face the whole time.
I still get it. All right. Roscoe's Raider says, about the Moto theme song. He sent me an email. He says, love the new song intro. You need to publish it so I can rock out to it when gearing up for a race.
Nice.
So, all right, Spencer. So, yeah, we got to really create this band so we can create some music. Hopefully it doesn't cost too much. We'll have to see what's involved.
Right.
All right.
Somebody always wants some money, though.
All right. Mousy McNabb. Love, and this is from show 34 as well. Love the song. Dang awesome. Great show as always. All right. We got a big one for you, Donnie.
All right.
John Doe.
From John Doe. 1231. So
that's into the video.
Into the video.
Yeah.
So I have a 2015 CRF 250R that I've kept in great shape, but it has a ton of hours on it. The hour meter says 431, and I put all except for 19 of them. I don't plan to sell it because it still runs really good, but I know that it's only a matter of time. It's going to come apart. Is it always a matter of time? Yeah. And I don't want to sell the bike to somebody and know it's on borrowed time. I also don't want to rebuild it because it's going to cost me more than the bike is really worth. So I keep fresh oil, clean air filter, shim the valves as needed. But at this point, I'm really kind of curious as to how many hours I can go before she blows. As good as it runs, I'll bet I can make it over 500 hours. We'll see.
Okay, John Doe, you're the luckiest man in the world that I'm aware of. We should go to Vegas and bet it all in red, I'm guessing, right? It's got to be his color, right?
Right.
Because I've never heard of this in my life on these bikes. What I will say is I'm guessing he's not riding hard moto, gnarly stuff.
It's not. He's not wide open.
Even if he's trail riding and just cruising around, that's still really good. Those older Hondas, one of the cool things about them, which we've gotten away from on the new bikes, is the oil's in 2 compartments. You have 2 sets of oil. Remember that
you bet.
On your 450s?
Yep.
And why do they do that?
They did that so you don't contaminate the oil from the clutch.
Simple. So everything seems to last longer. It's a better design. You go, why doesn't Honda still do it? They've been trying to keep up with KTM. So you have to make the engine more compact, smaller, less drag, all those things. I think all those things are factors in why they had to scale it, down and couldn't afford to have that much oil. Because we would run 750 range on one side and 850 on the transmission side.
I would run that molybdenum in there.
Yeah. So shoot. So that's like 1,500.
Yeah, there's a lot of oil.
That's 1.5 quarts. That's the most oil. So you have so much oil in that engine. That's really what helped a ton on those things being durable. As far as this guy, I can't give him any advice on how long till it blows because it already should have blown. So now what I will say is when he does this next oil filter is you pull the oil filter and you pull it apart, the paper filter, and take a look at it, lay it out, and you're going to see if you see any brass in there. That'll tell you the bottom is coming apart.
That's true. And you can even run a magnet to see how much.
If there's any steel. But usually it's the brass shavings you're going to see from the bottom
end. From the bearings.
From the lower bearing. On the crank. So you're going to see those coming apart usually first, and usually you see brass pieces in that filter. So that's one thing to look for. So if you have a paper filter and you have a high hour bike, you could simply, when you change your oil, go cut it apart, let it dry out. You can see all the pieces in there.
They do it on every time they do oil change on an airplane.
They're looking for pieces. That's pretty smart, probably.
Yeah.
Especially if it's flying, right?
Yeah.
So that's a way to tell. So I'm guessing he's doing a good job on that. And he's doing a good job of keeping his air filter clean, because if he sucked dirt in this oil motor, there's no way it'd last this long.
No.
He's adjusting the valves. Usually the intake valves will suck in way sooner than this. So I'm just amazed. I'm pretty stoked for him.
Have you ever heard of anything higher than that?
Yeah, in that range. But KTM's, yes. Plenty of KTM 350s.
My buddy,
500 hours.
You know, Rick Soma, I've seen him have a bike close to 300 hours, Yamaha. But he never revs that thing out.
Rado knows a guy with the older generation 300, like XC300s like we ride, with 1,100 hours on it. Yeah. Stock components and stuff. I'm like, this is crazy. The carbureted one, the newer generation.
I certainly wouldn't want to buy it.
Yeah. You're right.
No, I think.
All right, here's our next one from Lyle's Garage. And this is on a tire install for beginners. What's the reason for unscrewing the valve nut and putting it all the way against the valve cap? I brought that just to show you guys. So here's a valve stem cap. I got a works connection metal one right there, and there's the nut. These should be touching like this, like that. Right, Donnie?
Yep.
So they should be touching, and that leaves you a little bit of threads on your valve stem, and it leaves you just a little bit of threads. Whoa. So we'll get a photo of that for Donnie to use, or something just like that. And it'll leave a little bit of threads, and what that allows the tube to be able to shift over and over from side to side. It can move. If you don't have that going on, if you get low, too much braking, whatever, you can tear the valve stem off the tube. So that's why you want that little gap there. And if your stem, even with that setup, if it starts to bend over too far, we have a video showing you, but then you can let the air out of the tube with your tool, which right here. You can just let the air out, tighten the nut down all the way to the rim, put the valve core back in and fill it up. That'll help bring that over and then back that nut off. We have some videos on that.
I love the Honda setup with that rubber.
And that's why I think Honda thought of that, and I think it's still smart. They've been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah.
And I think it's...
They also run the valve stem hole a little larger on their wheels, don't they?
The valve stem hole is way bigger.
Way bigger, yeah.
Way bigger.
Yeah.
Like, it's substantially bigger.
It's like you're hardly... There's no way you're going to rip that valve stem off with the way they have it set up.
Because it'll bend over so far.
So far.
Yep.
It'd probably go into the before,
which I've seen.
Yeah,
I've seen that happen.
You've seen that happen.
Yeah, and also I've seen people, because we don't take the rim lock off, right?
No.
But somebody changes the tire before me. They have the rim lock in that big hole.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. So the rim lock will be turned and messed up because it's in the wrong hole.
In the wrong hole.
Too big a hole.
Right.
And so it messes it up.
All right. Yellow Buddy on the 93 KDX versus the RMX. How do I make a 06 RM250 more like an RMX?
You buy my 93.
Buy an RMX.
Yeah, my 93.
You take the radiator cap off of that 06 and you put the RMX underneath it.
But he's a Yellow Buddy. He's a Suzuki guy.
Yeah,
Yellow Buddy.
He's got it in his name.
Yellow Buddy. Okay, but the first thing you can do to any motocross two-stroke bike, if you want to make it more like a trail bike, the simplest things are a flywheel weight will help tone the motor down, because you want to make it toned, slow down. Not a short silencer. A longer silencer will help slow it down, because that's what we're really trying to do on a trail bike, a two-stroke, is make it a little slower, less responsive, little bit less motocrossy, right? So those are the two things right there. 18-inch rear wheel would help. So that's the easiest things you can do. And then, jetting is going to be somewhat similar. A lot of times you can lean them out a little bit for trail riding compared to moto, because you're not obviously going wide open. Yellow Buddy. Thanks, bud.
Yeah.
Okay. Dennis Kelly says, do you recommend starting the bike straight after washing to dry out the electronics, etc.? Love your channel and wish you were my next door neighbor. Cheers from down under. Okay. I don't want to live down under. So he'd have to live here to be my neighbor.
But he doesn't know that if he is your neighbor, you're gonna put him to work.
He'd have to put to work. Yeah. Just to be able to get advice, he'd have to come over and
you got to do work,
mow the grass or something.
Yeah.
All right.
Chop down the tree,
wash some bikes.
Right.
But yes, we started bikes immediately after washing. So as soon as they get washed, as they're getting pushed back in to the shop, we start them up. So yes, start it up. That's how we push it back into the shop. We shut it off. Then we have good videos showing the entire process of our washing, because it's not just washing. Once you get it washed off, that's kind of like half the job, let's say. Once it's in the shop, then you're blowing off all the areas, drying it off, lubing up the chain with some, good lube. You're lubing up this foot peg areas, any metal areas, blowing off all the electronics. We like to pull the seats off when we're done. Pull the seats off, blow all the electronics out of the seat, blow the seats off, get all the water out of the thing you can. So, but yes, you want to start it up straight away. If you leave water in there, if you got water accidentally, if somehow got through how you blocked it off from the air filter, you got water in the engine, you're hosed. You want to start that thing up and get that water. And it could be minuscule amounts of water, condensation, a little bit of water got in there. Let's get it out of there. So
even on a trail ride trip, we had
mufflers.
The
mufflers could. So if you have a plug in there, it's still going to get a little seepage. So you want to get them off there.
For sure.
What are you saying about our trail?
Our trail ride trip, we all had a little assembly line on washing the bikes.
We did.
Seats coming off and all the stuff. It was actually the bike started right when you picked them up. Over to the next station.
Spencer was I was at the wash station. He was at the prep station.
I was at because I had a blower too.
Because you're full of hot air.
Yeah.
Okay. Good job. So next one.
I like this one too.
Okay.
LC74444. He says, "I wish I lived next to you. We'd be best friends."
What do you think of that?
I think that would be a tough road to hoe.
Best friends?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's hard to say. If you like to work hard and ride, we'd ride plenty.
No, there's no excuses allowed. There's really no complaining allowed.
No.
There's only, and I don't mean this in a negative way. There's only work to go ride.
Right. For sure. All right. We got one from, or I just lost that one. That's our guy here. Ian S. I also want to say thank you for making yourself accessible to the weekend warriors out there. You really helped me out on this previous emails on building this amazing bike. So we definitely get a lot of guys thanking us. We appreciate it. Get guys following up with that and thanking us and seeing us, saying hi at the track and thanking us. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So. You help a lot of people, man.
Well, it's not like we're curing cancer, dude. It's just dirt bikes. So
it might be more important.
It might be. Well, at least one of them's not a scam.
Right.
Because the curing cancer money raisers, we know that there should have been cures like 12 times ago.
Yes.
All right. That's a whole sore subject in itself.
Yeah, especially for me right now, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Anyway. Let me see. James Rockburn, he says on the fixing the stuck float needle seat, he said, "Excellent as always. You have any idea on how many tips and tricks you have in your head that you can give to the next generation of riders? Fine-tune my tire changing skills after one of your videos 8 to 10 years ago."
Yeah, it's 3,333 is what it is. The number of tips there. So, yeah, we appreciate that. That was cool of James. But just the Rockburn, that's the name, dude.
Right.
Like, if I had Rockburn as my last name, it would be on my back of my jersey.
For sure.
With some like fire, right? If my name was James Roxburn, dude.
Yeah.
I would have gravitated and got in a rock band.
The first thing I thought it was James Rockford.
Rockford Files. Most of the people listening are younger than that.
Yeah.
They're not going to get all that. All right. Travis, on our Fixing Stuck Float one, he says, "I love Jay Clark and Dirtbike TV, but hope it wasn't Jay Clark that left the bolt in Connor's head." He's talking about Buttery. One of his posts, he had this mechanic. Wasn't me. All I help those guys with is like easy external stuff, tires, chains, and sprockets. So it wasn't me. I don't know who it was, but unfortunately that stuff does happen. We've had some unfortunate stuff over the years, so crap can happen.
Yeah.
All right.
Granto Tavarino says, what song is this? Oh, on the Stuck Float. I need to know.
Leaky gas ain't gonna help me from Holland. That one's a good song too. So we got to get our band set up.
Yeah.
How to bleed your brakes. This is from Toof Zanal. Thanks for this, Jay. I attempted to bleed my son's brakes today, which didn't initially go as planned. LOL. I guess he wasn't laughing though when it was going bad. He says definitely a little different than the car due to the size of the reservoir. The pressure of the caliper and piston really helped. So on our brake bleeding, one of the tips I've learned that just saves the most time is reverse bleeding it, but not pushing fluid from the bottom with a syringe or anything. I've seen guys do that. And if that works for you, that's fine. But it kind of makes a mess because you got to push fluid out there and you got fluid pouring all over. And I still don't think it gets at 100%. You're still going to have to pump it through the piston. So we push I sit on the ground and just push that master on the rear, not the master, the caliper. I push that piston against the rotor, and that pushes fluid up to the top. And we have a good system. I think our videos, most of the time, Spencer and I, or Cody and I, helpers, we can do a brand new brake line, put a brand new brake line on a bike, a front brake line, and have it done in 7-8 minutes from start to finish. And I just don't know that anybody else can do that. And it's rock hard. It feels amazing. So with our system, I think it'll help you with that. This is from John Hickman. I don't scratch rims. He's talking about one of our tire change videos. And he's asked, what valve tool do you use? It's just like this right here. It's just available like at Napa. Also on our Amazon links, we can go there from our Google Doc. It's like $7. You can get one of these. And what's nice about it, on one side, it has the little teeth like pliers to pull out the valve stem. And the other side just got a little flat. So you can put that side in just if you want to let air out a little bit. If I overfill it, I can just put that on there for a second, let air out. And what's nice with it on this little toggle deal, and there's also one of those, you can right here pull, what it's really for is automotive guys, they can put the valve, like on a new rim, they can feed this through, hook that on the valve, what do you call that? The valve stem. Yeah, the rubber piece, and get it all wet, and they can pull it into the rim. From here. So that's really what this thing's really mainly intended for. But with it on here, you don't ever lose the thing. Yeah. It's kind of nice. You're not grabbing onto some little thing, and it works really well.
Right.
All right. That's it. That's the tool.
That's the tool.
Okay.
Chugging Wheels 300. Can I use two-stroke oil for lubing my air filter? I kind of look and feel like the same oil as the same air filter you've used in your video and way easier to get.
No, it's nonsense. No. I see guys want to use motor oil too. And different things.
What happens to the motor oil?
Yeah, it sucks right through. It
goes
dries out.
Right through.
Yeah, just goes right through. So the thing with the oil is you're trying to really stop these fine particles of dirt. And they're doing something that's really not intended for, So with these thicker oils, and we have good videos on changing oil. Again, go to our Google Doc. On these videos, it's important that filter is completely saturated with a good, sticky air filter oil. That's really important. And if you do a spray oil, which is okay-ish if you're not riding in gnarly conditions, you can spray that thing, and then you got to work it in there with some rubber gloves on, spray it again, fully look at the inside. If it's a 2-stage filter like a uni, that you're getting all the way on both sides, all the way around. We have videos that show all that. But no, a 2-stroke oil is not sufficient. It'll run right off, too thin, won't help you. All right, sorry. Okay, we've got a big one here.
Yeah, you can do this one.
How to unclog your CRF or XR50 pilot jet. This is our carburetor one. Thank you so much for sharing. Dealing with carb issues on a 2000 XR80 over the past year and came to basically the same conclusion. Oh, we're going to be a spoiler alert here for our video. But with a lot more confusing and frustration, I'm still trying to figure out these things. The XR80, the China carb, I think the brand was Neutron, ran well enough to low to mid that it worked as a cheap and easy Band-Aid, but was very stubborn when a cold start and sputtered a lot, and I held the throttle 75 to 80, 100% to get it to start for too long, like a couple seconds or so. On an XR80, the throttle slide was not the same as the OEM. Neither the carb liked it when it had the other throttle slide installed. Also, the threads on the Chinese jets were not the same as the threads on the OEM jets. So I couldn't install the OEM jets on the China carb in an attempt to get the original jet set up on the new carb. I learned this the hard way. Hope this helps you for anyone else scouring YouTube with a similar issue. And yes, we learned that same thing. We thought that if we bought the China carb it was like 18 to $20 on Amazon, that we could at least pull out the slow jet, which is the main one. it's not the same. They don't copy it perfectly. So they have their own jets and a lot of these, and that's what he found out on that one as well. So I appreciate him backing us up on that. And then the next question is very similar to that one. He says, Joe the Blacksmith on the same carburetor video says, is there a reason why you didn't try putting the stock main jet in these Chinese carbs? Seemed like it was breaking up just at high RPM. No, you can't switch the jets from the different carbs, just as our other guy told you. So, and then we have one more from 969 Garage. On the same one, he says, been trying down this road many times, the CR50s, tried pulling out the slow jet, crushed it with pliers, pulling it out. Long story short, buy a factory carb, run non-ethanol fuel, and it will run for years. So we've been running avgas now in all the little bikes, and I still drain it out of the carburetors. So that's another key, is drain the carburetors. We've showed that a ton. When you put bikes away, even if it's just for 2 or 3 weeks, it always ends up being longer than you think. You know, you put them away for summer or for winter, drain those carburetors. But we've been running avgas because it lasts so much longer. It's more stable, doesn't rot out in those little carburetors. If you think about it, these planes sit on a runway for months or even years, and they have to be able to start right up, and that fuel needs to still be good. And nothing's more important than being, up here. So think about that. So that'll help you, help you there. I got a cool photo there of our group from the drone. You can throw that in there somewhere, because that was us playing with the drone up at the top of the mountain. There's my Kenkel, and which is relatively fine. It's just, other than this like huge hematoma I have. What do we have left? I think that's about it, man. We went through a lot of. On the tool, I showed this. We got a new battery. This 9 amp. It's like twice the size of the other battery. Do you have one of these tools yet?
Yeah. I got 2 of them.
So now you're jealous because I have a better battery than you.
I'm like, yeah.
You're like, no way. Does Jay have a better just one thing better than me? Yeah. So that's the difference in size of the battery. This is like, let me get my glasses on here. Can I even read what's on this one? Yours looks like just a silly little toy here. Yeah, so it lasts way longer. It does seem to have a little bit more torque. And it lasts way longer. And it wasn't very expensive. So if you guys have bought this gun that we've showed.
What is that? Say, what is it on the side? 9?
My elbow, yeah. 9.88. And so we got one for Spencer up in Utah as well.
Oh, no, I have to get one.
And it sits on the counter.
No, that's the best part. So I have one of those here and one at my other house.
This looks insufficient, Donnie.
Look how tiny it looks.
Right. You have a tiny battery. Are you so sad right now?
I'm so sad.
All right. Maybe I'll buy one for you for show compensation. It could be like a bonus. So you need 2. I think we actually bought them in a 2 kit.
As a pair.
Yeah. And it wasn't that expensive. They're pretty inexpensive.
Yeah.
So that's the new deal. And it seems to last way longer.
Oh, yeah. I like it.
All right. So that's cool with the gun. If you bought that, and we have the links to this in our Amazon thing. If you haven't, I like this gun a lot, because one of the main reasons we like this gun is it has different deals. It has a drill setting too, but you can leave it I typically leave it like in 13 or 14 at the very end here. And when it stops, you can still just go push it you can use it like a wrench. So you can get a feel for it and don't hit the button, and it locks. The motor locks. Most guns don't lock. They free spin right here. So it locks, and you can tighten up the rest of that bolt. So say you're doing shroud bolts or whatever. So that's one reason I really like it.
So what I do, if I've noticed a little tight, I loosen it and then run it out.
Yes. So yes, you could break stuff loose a little bit. Yes. Yeah. You don't have to go get your T-handle or your socket or whatever. So, okay. That's it. Enjoy motoing, right?
Yeah.
Support all the good companies we have. At the end of this, again, we're going to have the song. So you get the song. So this is going to be a really long show. That's one downside of waiting so long in between shows. I had to keep all the good questions. We had some really good questions. I didn't get to a couple of them. I'll save them for next show because we, already pretty long, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be like a record breaker.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Okay, good.
Hour and 25, 30 minutes.
Okay. All right, thank you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this.
Also want to mention 6D, one of the best helmets out there.
Yeah. Donnie's got a fresh one there.
Yeah.
Okay, don't scratch that sucker.
Try not to.
Do you like to drop it a little bit before you ride?
I do every time.
Okay. All right, that's a weird deal. But at least you get it out of the way, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to argue with. So I've got some great companies working with us. Cardo Systems, Wiseco, Blaster has some really good products we've been using a lot of lately, like those. And remember to keep those questions coming. We'll see you guys next time on the Track or Trail.
See ya.
Wiseco Piston has over 80 years of experience manufacturing pistons in Cleveland, Ohio, USA. Wiseco pistons are developed and proven through professional racers, teams, and engine builders, including factory Honda HRC, Club MX, DBTV, Twisted Development, and many more. Wiseco is rooted in supporting grassroots racers across the country. Wiseco has been a sponsor of Loretta's and GNCC Racing since their very first events. Wiseco has a piston to fit the needs of any type of rider, from reliable rebuilds to serious racers. Wiseco is still the piston expert. However, the brand has evolved and has a complete range of performance components, including engine rebuild kits, clutch and valve train components, crankshafts, gaskets, and more. Wiseco has all of your power sports machines covered, from dirt bikes to UTVs, ATVs to jet skis. Find what you need at wiseco.com or wherever you... We work with some great companies, and here's a list of those right now. Dunlop Motorcycle Tires, Wiseco Piston, Vinco Air Shocks and Dirt Bike Parts, FMF Exhaust, Decal Works Graphics, Pro X Racing Parts, Recluse Clutch Revolution, Motion Pro Specialty Motorcycle Tools, Works Connection, Uni Filter, Klotz Oil, Cometic Gasket, MX Plastics, JE Pistons, Cardo Systems, ODI Bars and Grips. And remember, if you shop Rocky Mountain, use our link from our site, Linktree, or link in the description of the videos. Thanks for watching and listening. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Welcome to the only tech podcast that smells like race gas and sounds like freedom. That Moto Show. Tech podcast that rocks. With Donnie and Jay. With Donnie and Jay. Sometimes Spencer's there. Bringing the flair. Talking dirt bikes and pro races all the way. That Moto Show. From enduro trails to supercross lights, we wrench, we ride, we live that moto life. Motocross madness and enduro terrain, dual sport dreams, dirt in our veins. Supercross Saturdays, stadium flame, but no quads or UTVs.